Yeah, we back. It's your boy Dabrand knows, as you already know, with that evening edition. It's probably like 1:30 in the morning, y'all. But we still up going hard. You feel me? Your boy Trap Lord Roy done got put in his place, huh? And then we're gonna bring you up to speed on that Nolan Wells jump off. So with that being said, now that you know that your boy the Brando knows, I'm just glad it's now Monday. Monday is the worst, first day of the week. Always seem to feel I never get enough sleep. Tuesday's the one day, feels like a Sunday, and if it wasn't for one day, I wouldn't even notice. Wednesday's the hump day, get you out the slump day. Thursday's the day before that bread, so you pump day. Friday's the next. Now it's the weekend, baby, didn't realize. We instantly gone, we taking off, let's go.
Gang, I'm hearing things about this Lil Durk trial. I heard Trap Lord Ross got pressed outside the courtroom for no reason by the Lil Durk OTF goons. I was like,
what? Stop it. Get to me.
What?
So for some reason, Lil Durk's entourage or his team or people associated with his team, the Muslims were pressing and confronting Trap Lord Ross outside of Lil Durk's court date today.
What?
Now, we found this out that Trap Lord Ross was being pressed because of a live stream that took place on Twitter. Like, people were on a live stream talking about this, and they were even, like, talking about, yo, we got to go help Trap Lord Ross. That's how severe and serious they thought it was getting.
Hear me? Yeah, I can hear you, bro. What the is going on? They didn't try to jump on Trap Lord?
Right. Yeah, Trap Lord didn't show up with his security guard really today and came outside, and he was damn near surrounded by a wheelchair.
No, what the hell?
No. Not a wheelchair.
Bro, I kid you not. He was just getting pressed, and they kept calling him to his face and all type of stuff. It's getting crazy.
But they was
I don't know
calling
what Trap Lord doing. I ain't been seeing his clips like that, but
These got to be the dumbest set of criminals I've ever seen. Yo, mans is on trial for murder, and y'all trying to press a blogger from the UK outside of a federal courthouse. Bro, these folks is dumb. Now, here's the thing.
No cap. So your man's is on trial for a murder right before he goes on trial for a RICO, where he's trying to say he's a gang leader. And y'all niggas who are associated with him are trying to press a London-based blogger for reporting on. That's just stupid.
And this dude is watching this live. So, Trap Lord Ross got pressed twice, I believe. Before trial and then after trial when everybody was there. But he's watching it live. He claimed a dude in a wheelchair is pressing Trap Lord Ross. Trap Lord Ross is surrounded by a bunch of Muslims.
About, what's folks' name? Vernie? Is it Vernie? I think the dude with he got like one tooth missing. He ain't used to be in a wheelchair. I think he might have got shot and he in a wheelchair. That's the only nigga I know that's like that be with Durk that is in a wheelchair.
They're calling him the B word first off. Muslims. I ain't know Muslims could use the B word, man. I thought that was haram, okay? All right, now, why are they pressing Trap Lord? Before we get back to why are they pressing Trap Lord?
What's going on in the background, Flocko? Damn. Okay, Flocko. What's going on back there, man?
Because Trap Lord Ross made a report yesterday.
She cleaned it up for you, nigga?
Trap Lord Ross tweeted, Lil Durk defense team is putting all the crimes on OT Avani. They are blaming OT Avani for everything. And that was truthful. Now, people's interpretation of what Trap Lord Ross wrote was, oh, man, Lil Durk is snitching. But that's not Trap Lord Ross's fault that people interpreted that from what he wrote. He just wrote the truth. Yo, they pinning all the crimes on Vani. That's what it was.
Right.
Now, because of that, Trap Lord Ross got a lot of backlash from even people that he has worked with in the past and that he likes, but he took to his YouTube live yesterday or to his videos yesterday to double down and stand by his reporting, right? He's not backing down.
Hell no.
People interpreted that Lil Durk was snitching. Trap Lord Ross never said Lil Durk was snitching. But nonetheless, Lil Durk and them is pissed off that Trap Lord Ross even reported that Lil Durk defense team was pinning all the crimes on OT Avani.
Why do y'all press the YouTubers and the bloggers for saying the same shit that they saying on the news? They saying this everywhere on the news, bro. Yeah, you type, bro. Like, you go to Lil Durk defense OTF Vonnie. Let's just type that in. Lil Durk defense points to OTF Vonnie as the mastermind. So you gonna press what is this? Well, I don't even know what the fuck. Dance Hall Magazine. You gonna press damn? You gonna press them too? You gonna press Rolling Stone too? You gonna press the Source Magazine, Hot New Hip Hop, AllHipHop.com? You gonna press Rap House TV? You gonna press everybody then? Press everybody then. We all reporting on the same shit, bro. Don't be mad at me because I reported some shit, nigga. What the fuck? I'm a reporter. You mad? It's like y'all be wanting niggas to kiss y'all ass, and that's just not happening, bro. Like, no, bro. And Trap Lord Ross has been nothing but fair to y'all niggas. Listen, y'all, YouTube and Meta might owe you up to $1,000 if you or your child grew up on social media. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health issues, you should hear this. Recently, a jury just ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They know that their apps can cause anxiety, depression, or body image issues. But they never shared those risks with us. They never made us sign anything that we knew the risk. They just maximized their profits. And the recent historic verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. But you better not worry. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm that they have caused. Click the link in my bio to take a very short questionnaire quiz because you might be entitled to a potential recovery of over $1,000. Trap Lord Ross has reported on the good, the bad, the ugly, the great. He done reported on all that. For y'all to even call y'allself trying to press him is corny as hell. This little innocent, non-aggressive, non-street, I don't even know if he's short because I don't know how tall he is, but he ain't did nothing to nobody, bro. Leave him the fuck alone.
You can get to a transcript plus interesting observations that I made of other things that were going on in and around the courtroom. But like a lot of people are really salty. I never said that Dirk was a snitch. All right. I just said it's a bit weird to be pointing the finger and, saying that somebody else did everything. And, yes, they're trying to claim that Vonnie is cooperating with the feds, but like, he did blame everything on Vonnie. He said Vonnie did everything. Exactly. That's what's going on. But now there's a whole bunch of cap going around, and people
y'all mad at him because y'all homie snitching, nigga. If niggas think your homie snitching, that's what they think, bro.
My name. It breaks my heart to show you this, but this is the first person I'm going to react to because I thought I just became friends with this guy.
This tweet from Ross, I got to talk. So this headline and this tweet from Ross, I got to talk to Ross. This is not a story. Dirk.
He's got to talk to me. Last time I spoke to you, he was asking me for a collab. He was talking about, let's do a video in front of the courthouse. Now you're acting all salty because I got the scoop. But, like, what did I say in the tweet that was wrong? Dirk just blamed everything on Vonnie. What the F? He did. That's exactly what happened. Okay?
That's exactly what happened.
I don't respect this, to be honest, Mo. You going down in my estimations, all right? Don't make me bring up when you said that there was no video evidence on Pooh Shiesty and all that again, okay?
No cap,
did not just blame everything on Vonnie. What the Vonnie got picked up by cops, admitted to everything, admitted to getting the cars, arranging the flights, admitted to getting the guns, buying the ski masks, admitted to getting Sprinter vans and taking everybody around. And then he said, I did all of it while facing life in prison. I did all of it because Dirk Banks paid me to do it. And now Dirk Banks is in court saying, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And to put out a headline.
Bro, why do y'all keep simplifying that? That's not what the fuck Dirk said. That is not what Dirk is in court saying. Dirk did not say, and I quote, I don't know what he's talking about. Dirk said, I don't know what he's talking about. And he's the one who had all the reason to get the get back for Von, not me. Von told him, why did you let me get shot when Von died? Him and Von were cousins. Von, he was close to Von. He used to live to Von. He gave the courtroom extra evidence that otherwise they wouldn't have had to put all the blame on Vonnie. So I don't give a fuck how you try to toss it and twist it. At the end of the day, what did Trap Lord Ross tweet say? Dirk just blamed everything on Vonnie. Is that true or false? It's a true statement. You niggas getting in y'all feelings about true statements, that's what women do. And it's stupid when they do it. Usually that's what women do who didn't have fucking fathers in their life and shit. Because they don't have any logical, their brain doesn't operate on a logical playing field for them to understand, like, I can't be in my feelings about the truth. You telling me that I have a Nike t-shirt on, I'm not going to be offended because I have a fucking Nike t-shirt on. It's the truth. Now, if you say something like, if you call me gay and I'm not gay, then I can be offended because it's not true. But this is truth, bro. He blamed it on Vonnie. He did not just say, I don't know what he's talking about. I didn't have nothing to do with it. That's not. If you and your friend go to the principal's office and y'all both about to get suspended for some shit y'all both did, and one and your friend snitch on you, and you say, why would I be the one that steal the pencils? He the one who don't got no pencils. He the one who always asking everybody for a pencil. He the one that's always breaking pencils. He the one that went to jail already for stealing some stuff earlier in the school year, not me. That's blaming it all on him, bro. I don't give a fuck how you slice it.
That says, oh, Dirk just blamed everything on Vonnie. What the no.
He did.
Putting that out? What the So this headline and this...
He did. Putting this out, what the fuck? Asking me to do a collab and then dropping this 30 minutes later is definitely what...
No, not 30 minutes later.
We good on that one, okay? But, like, that's exactly what happened.
30 minutes later.
That's exactly what happened. Now, I'm not responsible for what came next. I just reported the facts.
The pro-Dirk people, though, but they're not buying that. So, now, Traveler Ross is correct in the sense of, bro, I didn't say Lil Durk snitched. Traveler Ross never said Lil Durk snitched. He never did. But the pro-Dirk people, and I hate the fact that we even have to do pro-Dirk and anti-Dirk, because I don't feel like anybody is anti-Dirk. I don't feel like, bro, any media personality in this situation is going to try hoping that Lil Durk loses.
Yeah.
People like myself.
I'm pro-justice.
I'm interested in justice.
Exactly.
Justice.
If he did it, lock his ass up. I've been saying the same shit the whole time. If he had something to do with them murders, lock his ass up. If he didn't, free him. I don't want no innocent nigga, especially no innocent black man, to go to prison. But you can't be out here killing niggas, and I'm supposed to have sympathy for you when you killing niggas. So two things can be true.
And I want for justice to reign supreme.
Absolutely, okay? Bro.
I want for the people responsible for Lil Pop's, because Lil Pop ain't Quantaron. Lil Pop was not a part of this beef.
Exactly.
The people responsible for Lil Pop's murder, we want them to be convicted and face their punishment and get their judgment.
Right.
But Traveler Ross never said Lil Durk snitched. But the pushback for Traveler Ross is, man, bro, you're supposed to add more context, man. Man, you just said, hey, bro, Durk and them putting everything on OT Vonnie. Nah, man, you're supposed to add more context, man.
He did add more context if you watch the fucking video. But if you just read the tweet and go off, this is y'all problem. This is why a lot of times, even on live, I be seeing this shit with clips. Like, y'all take clips completely out of context and then y'all think y'all know what the fuck y'all talking about in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's always been weird to me. That's one tweet. He gotta explain everything in one tweet and then hope that all y'all see it?
Right? You supposed to say, well, no, Vonnie did this first, and because Vonnie did this first, that means that... Bro, Traveler Ross ain't got time to tweet all that, bro. But Traveler Ross included all the details in his videos.
Exactly.
See how society works right now?
Thank you, Flacco.
People are creating their entire judgment and opinion based on Traveler Ross's tweet that's about 20 characters instead of watching his entire 30-minute video breaking this down. It's not his fault.
As they happened. And if you saw the last breakdown I did, I'll just read it to you again exactly what was said in the courtroom. They said this is about relationships. They go back decades. Their fathers were friends. It was Davon and Kayvon, Vonnie and Cuz.
This is not, all of this is not Dirk saying, I don't know what he's talking about. This is Dirk saying a lot of shit, putting more evidence and pointing the finger back at Vonnie. So we don't really care what y'all talking about because y'all in y'all feelings because Dirk is y'all fucking, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, bro. It's like, that's the truth, bro. I'm sorry. That's the truth. Everything he's saying is facts, bro.
Like, Cuz being Vonnie's nickname was because he was King Von's cousin. His whole identity is based on Von. He moved to Atlanta when Von moved there, moved in with Von, started managing Von. He managed his day-to-day, his finances. They had shared bank accounts. They were tight. When Von's star was rising, tragedy struck. Vonnie was with King Von when he died. He was there for the fist fight when Quando Rondo and King Von had an altercation that turned into a shootout. Vonnie was the one that grabbed the car and drove Von to the hospital. All right? He drove fast to Memorial Hospital, Grady Memorial. Von told Vonnie, why did you let me get shot? Why didn't you do something? How's Dirk know that? How's Dirk Defense know that? They said that Vonnie spoke to Von one last time and told him, I love you. This devastated Vonnie. He said he couldn't save him. The night Von died had a big impact on him. Okay? They put all of this out there, saying particularly Vonnie saw an opportunity. He saw that Dirk was upset.
Don't want to smell like your double shift? Use new Secret Clinical for 0% odor fails all day.
That's a winner.
I didn't think you was a baseball fan, Blake.
Come on, I love homers, and this little bad boy lets me pick one for free every day of the week. I can make a pick for Moonshot Monday, Tater Tuesday, Walk-Off Wednesdays, Thumper Thursdays, Four-Bagger Fridays.
Most people have no idea that Amazon partners with us to create affordable homes across Puget Sound. When Sound Transit finishes a project, we donate unused land. And then Amazon steps in with the funding to help start construction. We're building affordable homes all over the region.
It's like he said, Dirk's team said all of this, okay? They said all of this. They said that basically, they want to claim that Dirk's the leader. Dirk wasn't the leader. He had no control of OTF, and that Vonnie was out here on a mission of his own, and that they're going to testify. They said Vonnie has the most ties to the criminal underworld. He booked hotels, the rentals, the stolen car. He secured the fake plates. He went to REI to buy the ski masks. He arranged the Sprinter to take them from San Diego to LA. He did all of this. They said that Vonnie did and was there for the May 2021 incident where they tried to kill Quando. They're saying Vonnie arranged that too. They showed pictures of all of them. They said Vonnie secured the guns, the people in May 2021. And then Vonnie arranged the exact same thing in August of 2022, paid for by Dirk's company. Vonnie accessed Dirk's credit card, but he was the one who paid for it, not Dirk. When it all happened, it was Vonnie's card that used it. They said Vonnie did all of this. So the idea of just like
on day one, when Lil Durk team seen Trap La Ross, the first thing they told Trap La Ross was, "Bro, be fair."
Did you just have Flacco got a girl sneaking around in the back. You told her to go in the room and wait for you, bro. So I'm saying, damn, you got to clean it up for you and shit. What going on, Flock?
I think Duty Low pulled up on Trap La Ross. Now, Duty Low and Trap La Ross had some friction before they squashed their beef. They dap it up. Now, I believe when Dirk's team dap it up with Trap La Ross and they quote-unquote squash their beef, they thought, okay, that means that Trap La Ross is in our back pocket.
And that's the problem with these gangster niggas. You thought when you got cool with Trap Lord Ross, he was supposed to forever kiss OTF ass and not say nothing bad about OTF and Lil Durk, and he was only supposed to report on the positive things. It's like y'all be wanting to puppet, and that shit cool, but you ain't paying me. You gonna have to pay me some serious money because I make money off the negativity and the positivity, just as a creator. You feel me? So if you want Ross to only talk about good shit, you're gonna have to pay him just like every other media outlet, just like everybody else. Just like Diddy had to pay news outlets to do certain shit. Like that just is what it is, bro. So,
but if Trap La Ross is okay, you told me to be fair. That's the only request I have of Trap La Ross. Yo, just be fair.
Right.
And Trap La Ross is being fair. He's reporting exactly what took place.
Nothing but fair.
Now, if y'all don't like how he frames it, that's not his problem, right? He reported the facts of the case, which is Lil Durk's defense team in their opening statement
blamed it all on
this entire thing on OTF Vonnie. Now, OTF Vonnie told first, yes, that's a context, and he gave that context in his longer video.
Right.
So that's why they wanted to press him. I believe the first day they tried to have a cordial conversation, but because I guess Trap La Ross has not fully laid down and got in their back pockets, the second time now they're trying force and coercion.
It got people mad.
Bro, the only thing that Trap Lord did, there was only one thing that Trap Lord did that made anybody mad or made them feel something.
That's the whole snitch stuff? That's the...
Yeah, the little dirty telling.
I tried to tell him, I was like, bro, he's not snitching. If a person is trying to snitch on you and say that you were the one who did it, it's the only defense is to basically say is they're lying. Basically, it's they're the one who did it.
That's definitely the only thing that you can say is that.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can really say.
All the rest of it is hearsay, for real. I mean,
yeah, but he's gonna try to prove that he's moving off of Dirk orders. Man, bro, he getting pressed again, bro. He getting pressed by some Muslims, bro. God damn.
Oh damn.
What
video at?
Yeah, damn, bro. It's getting bad, bro. Let me go check on bro. Man, let me talk to y'all, bro.
Go ahead. I'll just talk while you up.
Bro, this getting crazy out here today, bro.
Bro, this is wild. They're really.
Yeah, they pressing Trapper like a mud, bro.
Hey Ross, I don't think it's nothing super serious, but don't go to that trial without your security no more, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
So I don't know what Trapper is doing, but I ain't. Like I said, I haven't really been paying attention to his stuff like that. But they are pressing this the other day.
He ain't doing shit,
right?
Bro.
And I think that him not showing up with security was a big thing too. He's gonna have to get that security, bro.
Yeah,
he just got somebody. I don't know who this other dude is, but he don't look like he able to do anything.
Yeah, he need to go ahead and call the security.
He out here get security off of Craigslist. Somebody Craigslist, you just find Craigslist. He got one security that was big as hell with little suits on, and now he got somebody that look like they work at loss prevention for Ross.
Oh no!
Yo, I did see. Listen, I did.
Yeah, we moving on from that. Let's get into this Nolan Wells update. Give y'all about another 30 minutes, and I'm out.
All right, the second time's the charm. All right, welcome back to What She Said, the special report for Nolan Wells.
Give it up for What She Said Sports. And this part of the show is going to be sponsored by the stickermill.com. Go to stickermill.com/your boy Dabrand. And your first 10 stickers is on me. Let's get it.
And a lot has happened today. When I tell you the story, the he say, she say, is falling apart and fast. The investigation is clearly being done by the global social media. I kid you not. And y'all know social media is undefeated. And one of the reasons for that is because we can rewind as many times as we need to understand what you're saying. We can look in the background to see if the context you're providing is a narrative that makes sense. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, there's at least two things we're going to talk about today. One, it has been confirmed that Miss Christine was blowing up Nolan's phone that night before Warren called her. And they didn't answer the phone. So she said she hadn't heard from her son. So what did she do? She called his phone, because that's what I would do. She called more than once. I guess she checked the location and saw that he was okay, but she thought it was strange that he didn't respond. So this is about 8:30. Let's just go with 8:30, because that's the time I heard. But I definitely confirmed that this is true. As a mother, she was calling like, what is going on? Right? She hadn't heard from him all day. They didn't answer the phone. They had the phone. So what do you think made them call at 11 o'clock if she was calling at 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock, 9:15? And why, if they had his phone, one, why would it be off? If they want to lie and say it's off, why would it be off? Two, they turned it on. Let's just say they turned it on and called at 11 o'clock. So you didn't notice that she was calling his phone? And you didn't tell her when you called her at 11 o'clock, he didn't come back with you. You did not tell her that you had his phone. But you told her you knew somebody at the Coast Guard. This is why the Coast Guard did not have a report. Because you just knew somebody there. Y'all didn't ask for Coast Guard assistance. You just said you was going to call the Coast Guard. Why was he calling the Coast Guard? We've been asking, why the hell are you calling the Coast Guard? Y'all said he left with somebody. Why you didn't call 911 and say who he left with? Better yet, why you didn't tell his mama who he left with? You see? So they told her, your son didn't come back. But then they said he went with Katie. But why didn't they say he stayed back with Katie? Why did they say he stayed back with a girl? But then they said it was Katie. You see what I'm saying? And why didn't you say, Miss Christine, we have his phone, and he just told us he was gonna stay back with a girl named Katie? Why didn't you do that? Instead, they didn't divulge any helpful information. It seems they wanted her to think that he was just somewhere so they wouldn't call the Coast Guard and ask for rescue to go out there and see if he was out there. Why didn't they go back out there if they were so sure that they called the Coast Guard? Why didn't you go back to look? Why didn't anybody let them use their boats to go look? Seemingly, they didn't want them to go back to the island July 4th because he wasn't on it. And people spent the night and camped out there. It seems that they only said just enough, and they was having his phone moving around to make people think that he was on land so they wouldn't look, but they decided to call the Coast Guard. But they didn't call the official Coast Guard. They called the buddy of theirs. Here's what I want to know about that buddy. Was that buddy supposed to be on duty that day, canvassing like the Coast Guard typically does? That's a question that needs answers. So he didn't ask for Coast Guard assistance. The Coast Guard was right when they said, ain't nobody call us. And when they did on the 5th, they didn't ask us for assistance. They just did like they did with Cito, made the obligatory call. Not to be helpful, because if you wanted to be helpful, you would have told his mother, not only did he not come back with us, he stayed on the island with a girl named Katie. We got a phone number, and here we got his phone. They did none of that. None of it. We know a lot now. After those interviews, we know a lot. We know he didn't leave with Katie. They said they found Katie's number, and she said, I thought he was leaving with y'all. In other words, why would he be leaving with me? Now, mind you, she provided a timestamp for 5:24, but I would like to see where people were at 4:01, 4:15, 4:35, 5 p.m., 5:05. That's what I want to see. I want to see everything up to. I want to see your whole day. I want to see your whole day. They weren't sinking at any point. And how do we know this? Because when you match up the Cito call to the call where the dude is sitting there at the steering column trying to look serious with his phone up to his ear, and they said it out of their own mouths, they was calling Cito at that time. False. I put the audio with the photo, and we're going to take a look at it. They don't match. Not even just the snippet from Nancy Grace, engineer. What else we know? They called Cito and they canceled Cito. Why would you cancel Cito if you were sinking? Why would you call Cito if your boat was anchored on the island? Establishing an alibi? Question mark. What we know, Nolan was dying. What we also know, they declined Coast Guard assistance while Nolan was dying. And then Nolan died. Now we know all of this. These are facts. These are facts. Undisputed facts. They even talked about that he had passed and he was dead. Notice they didn't tell you how and in the manner. Not even drowning. They just want to get off with, we didn't see him. We left him with Katie. Katie said, you did not. But since we heard Nolan in distress, now they said Nolan was screaming. We didn't get that part on the call. I wonder if the call was truncated to leave that part out and start conveniently at Easy Dead. They left in the part where he got hit with something. Got to turn it up to 400 volume and above. Go to 1,000 and you probably can figure out what he was hit with. What else do we know? Nolan was dying. They declined Coast Guard assistance. Nolan died. Then, according to them, they hung out in the Mississippi Sound for 54 minutes with Nolan's phone. So how is it Nolan's died and they get his phone? Is there a part on the audio that explains where's his phone? Did we hear that on the later version that keep getting taken down? Let me know. So the GPS said they was in the Mississippi Sound for 54 minutes. Now, since they weren't actually seeking, they weren't actually being told. And that 54 minutes seems to be a video with a melanated body part flopping up. People question the date of the video. I think I put it in Google Gemini and it said July 4th, 2026. I didn't check the time. I probably should go back and check it. I probably should go back and check it. But people want the metadata, and that's actually what you need. Since they gave that video to Tay-Tay, then they should be able to produce the original with the metadata. Why hasn't that been done yet? And then after they hung out in the Mississippi Sound for 54 minutes with Nolan's phone, they were in Fort Bayou doing what? For 73 minutes with Nolan's phone and didn't call his parents. We have his phone, but we don't call his parents. Hey, Nolan decided to stay back with a girl. Her name Katie, but we have his phone. I thought he was y'all best friend. Y'all wasn't looking out for him at all because you didn't even go back to the island, but you called somebody you knew at the Coast Guard. Why you just didn't go back out there? Y'all got boats and boats have lights. If people can camp out there, you could have made the 10-minute trip back to the island and y'all could have searched for him. So 54 plus 73. Well over an hour. Two hours with Nolan's phone. And if it's true, he was on that boat with Nolan's body. And we're going to talk about that. And then, so apparently there was some kind of party at Ava's house. So Nolan died, and y'all had his phone, and y'all went to a party. What'd you do with his body? We know he died. We know it was in distress. We know you declined the Coast Guard. So let's talk about this. I'm going to show it to you because I put it on X. If you ever want to look up my updates, they're on X. To make sure I have, this is where I do research. And I share it with them.
Zoom in.
All right, you see it right there. This is what I was reading from, right here. What we know, Nolan did leave with Katie. They weren't seeking at any point in time. They called and canceled Cito for a sinking boat. Nolan was dying while the call was on hold and declined the Coast Guard assistance. And Nolan died before the call ended, so they got his time of death. Hung out in the Mississippi Sound for 54 minutes with Nolan's phone and quite possibly his body. In Fort Bayou doing what for 73 minutes? That's 2 hours. And went to a party at Ava's house. You went to a party after that? I thought Warren said on one of the interviews with Tay-Tay that they took a nap because they was tired. Didn't he say that? So they took a nap and they had a party? And did Miss Tashima say they was all at the house watching movies in the dark? What's the definition of the word party? Who is Ava? Was Ava the oh my God, or can we cover it up girl? Is that what it was? Now, Crocodile Tears confirmed that an Ava actually exists. And we're going to listen to that audio again. Because every time you listen to it, you pick up on something new because we're learning things as we go. Okay? So this is all what we know right here. Now, I ran out of space. I'm going to have to do a part 2 on X to talk about Miss Christine blew up Nolan's phone. I think I have a snippet of it, but I want to put it like bullet points, you know? So it's easy for people to keep up with the chronological activity.
She would blow up his phone. My son missing. First thing I'm going to do is start calling his phone. If they got the phone, why they ain't answer the phone? Oh, Miss Wells, we Nolan left his phone with us. No, they saw that phone ringing. They saw that phone ringing, and then they turned that phone off. How could you turn the phone off without a password? You can't even turn the phone off without a password, my man. Right? If your phone is on like right now, and I try to turn it off without the password, let me see. It won't let me do power off. Let's see.
Force restart your device by holding down the power and volume down buttons or power and home/volume up depending on the model for 10 to 15 seconds until the screen goes black. If it remains unresponsive, let the battery drain completely or plug it into a charger for a few minutes before trying again.
It says force restart your device by holding down the power and the volume buttons. So you could definitely turn your phone off without the thing. Let me see. Hold on, let's try it. Oh, see? It went to my password. It went straight to my password, see? No, I ain't gonna shut my shit down for that. But it went to my password, like I said. You can't even turn your phone off without the password. So how was his phone off even? Was his phone off? If his phone was off, yo, they need a password to even turn it off. So there's that.
In this case, not just what we were told, what we have observed from studying the information. We don't do he say, she say. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. Now, let me tell y'all this right fast. In the movie Surviving the Game, this is important. I watched Mississippi Burning again, and racism is taught. I didn't even realize it watching the movie 3 times. Racism is taught. And apparently, at 7 years old, you learn the hatred for black people. And there's some scripture in the book of Genesis that they apparently teach these kids to be racist at the age of 7, 6, or 5 years old. So much so that the woman who actually told the FBI on where to find the civil rights young men that came down, the activists, to sign up black people to vote, she said that she was taught that. She was taught by the time she was 7 to have hatred for black people, and they used the Bible, Genesis, some scripture she quoted in the movie, to hate black people. So this is why the Nolan Wells Act needs to happen, because I have said it before, how the hell is Wyatt's little brother, Ike, apparently, so racist at his very young age? And watching the movie Mississippi Burning gave me some insight that they're teaching their kids. And in the movie Mississippi Burning, they have the kids at the lynchings. The babies, the little girls, the little boys under the age of 6 at the lynchings, watching black men be lynched or burnt on a cross. It's taught. This level of hatred is taught. This disrespect for Nolan's parents. What's that about? Who raised y'all? Who raised y'all? So going to a party after we hear Nolan in distress, Nolan died, is that making a mockery of his death? Are you trying to insinuate his life was worthless? Isn't that the term one of the brothers of the group called black people worthless? Didn't we hear them sit up and say, it's funny because it's crazy, they want to end racism, but they're pushing it. Who is they? Who is they? Black people? So no white people have called them out. Is that what we're to understand? So the disrespect to Nolan's parents, and they want to end racism, but they didn't have no problem throwing Katie under the bus. But they have a problem with Nolan Wells' mother putting out the photo that he took before he died, was murdered, to help find him. Sound like you worried about your own ass. That's what it sounds like to me. And it sounds like Katie was a smokescreen to cover their ass. Why her? Because she not like that. Because she not part of the same clan. They said she didn't take part. Sounds like she really didn't take part. But who did? Surviving the Game is another movie.
And take part in what? You know what I mean? They wildin' right now, y'all. I saw a clip of Nolan on the back of the boat bending over doing something. And clearly that was the same old man that they saying was the old man in the new pictures that popping up. But if you look at that picture, man, it strangely, weirdly, to me, looks like Nolan is in the center of what's about to happen there, because it's like everybody's facing him. It's like they're in a big circle and Nolan is dead in the center. If y'all know the clip I'm talking about, pull it up and take a look at it, man. Just pause it right there. See, they got the mats in there, everything in the water. It's like they getting ready to watch the show. You understand that? Let's go.
Movie that I watched yesterday. And I promise you, these people been watching this movie. In Surviving the Game, they hunted a black human being. And I thought it was interesting. I checked to see if the movie had racial overtones. Let me tell you how they got around it. They made Charles S. Dutton one of the wealthy hunters. In other words, they brought a black man along to do the hunting, so we're not racist. But that didn't work. The things that they were saying to him, you're worthless. You're nothing. It still was racist. They're trying to make it about class. No, but what did they do on this trip? They brought two other black guys along. And my question is, if Javon wasn't friends with them because he was too young, who invited him on the trip? If Javon was too young, I'm gonna come back to it. If Javon was too young that he didn't hang out with them, they don't invite him to nothing. Notice they don't talk about him in the interviews. And he thought he was gonna get on a boat with Nolan. Was Javon used kind of like Charles S. Dutton in the movie, so it wouldn't be about race? Was Trayston used so it wouldn't be about race? Because one thing about it, we know Trayston and Javon are on two different boats. Listen to Crocodile Tears. And we know Nolan didn't survive. So they went back on two different boats. Was Trayston on Bart's boat? Where's his uncle's boat? Did his uncle really take the trip? See, the problem is Trayston and Javon tried to corroborate or did corroborate the Katie story. But that wasn't true. I mean, you could say I saw him talking to him at 3, but we don't know if that's true. How the hell did you know what time it is? That was the question I asked from the beginning. But now my question is, if these weren't his friends, because he's too young to hang out with them, who did he hang out with on the island? Because he clearly didn't hang out with Nolan because he said it. I was with my boat group. Was that the 4 people on the Palm Beach? Why you want to hang out with them if you was going to get on the boat with Nolan? See, it's like they tried to stay away from Nolan. Is that what Javon did? Is that what Tristan did? Did they really think they were invited because these people liked them? Did they not realize, since there was 3 black people on 3 different boats, that they were being separated from each other and only brought to be like Charles S. Dutton and Surviving the Game? But I will tell you this about Surviving the Game. A man paid $50,000 for his son to come hunt a black human being. They kept their heads as trophies with their names on it, and they already had a placeholder for the guy Mason, which was a character of Ice-T, and he saw that they were going to kill him. They made him think that they wanted to break bread with him. They paid good money, $50,000 each. And the man that brought his son didn't like. He said, this is inhumane. This is a human being. Just like the wife of the sheriff who got 10 years for a hate crime in Mississippi burning. She wasn't like them either. We need the people that's not like them, who have the video, who have the information, who was there but didn't sign up for this. We need them to be good citizens. The man who paid $50,000 told his son, this is your rite of passage. This is you officially becoming a man if you kill this human being. Somebody sent me a comment today that said they were telling their grandmother, who's from Mississippi, much older in age, about Nolan Wells and his story. And she said her grandmother said, was this one of those things where they got to do this, kill a black man before they officially claim? See, more people know about these initiations than we do. But they happening all over the country. And they all start the same way when the black person is unalived. With the sheriff. No foul play. Self-inflicted or accidental. So that brings me to why isn't the sheriff, who clearly not just prejudged, the question is, why is he not being investigated to see if his no foul play, accidental drowning that they have quietly moved on from was malicious? Because what have they told us about Southern law enforcement? The sheriff should be investigated to see if his ruling was to cover up for people that he works with, that he's friends with. Because it's not uncommon for the medical examiner to come up with the malicious ruling to fit a corrupt sheriff, to cover for the sheriff. This happened in Maryland, and they blew it all up down there and started over. And we haven't heard any problems from this since. It's Mississippi's time. Why are they not investigating the sheriff? Because didn't he make the rulings on the other cases in Jackson County? Is this the only one? Why nobody want to talk about that? You can't say Southern law enforcement is a problem.
That's a good question right there. How many other cases did he handle that he just said was like no foul play? You know what I mean? We need to, investigate that dude, man. Think about that, man. Dude found the body, right? Nobody looked at it, tested it, nothing. He just came to his own conclusion right there on the spot, y'all. He said no foul play. This dude was drunk and drowned. How he know that dude was drunk and drowned? Who told him that? Yeah, Mississippi. We got y'all by the bazaars. And justice will be given to the Nolan Wells family. One way or the other, y'all. Believe that. Because that right there is crazy. There's no way y'all gonna tell us what we feel or believe happened, didn't happen. Y'all crazy. If y'all think y'all can convince somebody to go for that story they telling, y'all good. Because I don't believe nothing. I don't believe nothing. The story they telling just don't make no sense, man. They don't. Think about it, man. They had his phone, his car keys, everything. And they're going to say he wanted to stay on the island. Nah. Just listen to this story, man. Just listen to this story and tell me what we think happened to Nolan didn't happen, man. Ceto tape said it all, man. Ceto tape, man. They got some goofies online actually convinced that they didn't hear what they heard. Oh, you didn't hear that. It's your brain playing tricks on you because they put the words on the screen. See, if the words wasn't on the screen, you wouldn't have heard anything. Man, shut your... Man, listen, man. If they get away with this one, man. If they get away with this one, man. And when they don't get away with it, because they ain't going to get away with it, we're going to have to go back and look at some of these other cases where they said it was no foul play, right? And really, YouTube, this is going to be our new thing. We're going to find those type of cases and really, really dig into it. And start bringing justice to people who really deserved it. But look, everything is documented, man. You know what I mean? Either on paper or in videos. And these people really think we stupid. Like, my man, we saw you say, just listen to this silly ass story. He said, him and Nolan, Warren and Nolan, went to Jack's house to spend the night on the 3rd to the 4th. Jack's and Warren got up and left. Huh? Well, what the fuck you tell Nolan to spend the night for it if y'all gonna get up in the morning and break out on the dude? I had to go get shit prepared, get shit ready, because Nolan wasn't with you. That's what Warren said. You dudes went to spend the night together. You said me and Nolan went to spend the night at Jack's house. In the morning, me and Jax got up and broke out. Left Nolan. Like, why? Fuck that about. That's the first part of the story that's crazy to me. Like, what? They was doing sucker stuff all from the beginning. They was doing sucker shit to Nolan from the beginning, man. You took him to your man's house and broke out in the morning. Said y'all went to get breakfast, all this stuff. Did Nolan get breakfast? Y'all don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know because you left him at your man's house early in the morning. Feel me?
Problem, and you don't investigate Southern law enforcement. And after Rasheed Carter's case, which they gonna have to go back to now, and they knew that an active duty police officer was involved. How do you not investigate the sheriff in this case? Wasn't he out there when the body was discovered? That's what the Cajun Navy said. It was 2 boats out there. Did they check the GPS on those boats? Did they check the whereabouts of the sheriff? Did they check to see if the sheriff is covering? It's a valid question. And it should have been asked already, just like these boats should have been seized for Nolan's DNA. Because we're going to talk about the forensics piece of this and what happens to a body immediately after it dies. If it's true they had a tarp on that boat, that was to catch his bodily fluids, which points to premeditation. And if that boat is clean of everybody's DNA, including Nolan's, because he was supposedly on that boat on the way out there, that's a cover-up.
That's crazy, because now it sounds like they saying they've been stalking Nolan like for since the 8th grade. And he'll be a good catch. They said if it was a tarp at the bottom of that boat, premeditation. Yeah, because y'all knew y'all was going to do that. So y'all prepared the scene. So when y'all got him in there, we didn't leave the fluids in the boat. Yeah, we got y'all. We on it. Let's go.
So let's get back to it. All right. So surviving the game, the man paid $50,000 so that his son could hunt the black man, but his son didn't want to because he felt it was an inhumane act. I will tell you, that man lost his son, and that man lost his life. Because surviving the game, the tables turned. The black man went from being hunted to being the hunter. Okay. Let's talk about these other cases right fast, because you need to have an awareness to understand that Nolan's case is not isolated, and there seems to be a playbook which suggests organized. Listen to this. Rasheem Carter was decapitated and his private parts put in his mouth. Lon Hartman, the 37-year-old man who was performing at the Bliss Festival, was nearly decapitated. They tried to take his head off when he was alive. He might still be in the hospital. I saw interviews with his friends. They were distraught. They were his real friends. They said it hurt them to see him like that. They were overcome with emotion. 16-year-old in Lenore, North Carolina, can't say his name because he's too young, was choked out to unconsciousness. I saw that on video. Somehow it was a copy that popped up that wasn't blurred out. There's a pattern here. Nolan Wells, internal neck structure missing. So decapitated, nearly decapitated, choked to unconsciousness, internal neck structure missing, bruise, rope-like bruise on the back from sustained pressure on the occipital bone, which suggests hanging. We already knew he was hit with something, metal. And we already heard about the strangulation. Why so much? Why they attacking the neck like that? If you look at some of these videos with these young black kids being arrested, notice how they leaning on their neck and like they trying to break their neck. Why? Pay attention. Did Nolan Wells have a broken neck? Is that why they won't release the autopsy? Is that why they kept the inner neck structure? Is that why they kept the hyoid bone? Is that why they kept the bones? I think that's the hyoid bone. Is that why they kept the larynx? You know that photo people asked, what was the guy doing on the boat by himself? I put it in Google Gemini. Do you know what Google Gemini said that was happening? He said he was urinating. That's what it said. It said he was urinating. He was on the boat, urinating. Is that why they kept his stomach? Now, do you see the pattern here? Decapitated, nearly decapitated, choked to unconsciousness, inner neck structure missing. Did Nolan Wells have a broken neck? In each of these cases, I can tell you, in addition to neck trauma, there was humiliation. Rasheem Carter, private parts found on his mouth. Lon Hartman, I thought they said he was found unclothed and hanging outside of his tent. They hung him, and he's still alive. A 16-year-old, he survived, but he was humiliated. He was invited, just like Nolan, to hang out with friends around a fire and listen to music, and they was all bopping their head. And then out of nowhere, boom, they ambushed him. And the first thing they did after they hit him is get him to the ground, and then they started choking him out on the ground. And they said it was about a girl. That's how they kept the hate crime at bay, which is when I heard them mention Katie, I said, they looking at these cases and trying to figure out how to improve upon their alibis. Yeah. Making it about a girl, saying you didn't see him last, is how you stay away from a hate crime. How you avoid a hate crime. This was not about a girl. That's why the CETO audio, which is legitimate because it came from the Mississippi Department of Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, you know it's legitimate. I just want to know if it was truncated to cut off some of the beginning so we don't hear Nolan screaming. It's a valid question. CETO's call logs and their audio from that day, much like 30 cell phones from the group that went to Horn Island with Nolan, need to be analyzed. That's standard procedure. 16-year-old humiliated. Lon Hartman humiliated. Rasheem Carter humiliated. Nolan Wells. They needed dental records to identify him. We already heard about the strangulation. We heard he was hit with something metal. We heard he was dragged. We know on the occipital bone in the back, that rope-like pattern is from sustained pressure, which meant he was possibly hanging somewhere until, an elder came to take his body down to put it back where he was last seen, which is a mockery of his death. If they relieve themselves in his mouth, that is also humiliation. So you know what that tells me about 1, 2, 3, 4 cases? They're somehow connected, organized. I read today where it said that Nolan Wells' case will force Mississippi to look at 2 previous cases. I didn't know the one person, but Rasheem Carter's made the list and should. All right. So there's your pattern. Suggest organized. So I asked the question earlier today, 4 hours ago, why aren't the sheriffs and the medical examiners who made malicious rulings in the death of Nolan Wells and Rasheem Carter being investigated? Why do I say malicious? Because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, it wasn't an accident for Rasheem's head to be decapitated and his privates to be in his mouth. You know for a fact that you needed dental records for a hyper-decomposed body that was only missing for 36 hours, that had rope-like pattern on the back that they didn't even address in Mississippi, and you kept all of his relevant body parts that could rule that there is foul play. So, malicious. Why aren't they being investigated? After these malicious rulings were made in the death of Nolan Wells and Rasheem Carter, why weren't they being investigated? There was obvious foul play in both cases. Right, because what have they done in Mississippi? Moved on quietly away from drowning. If they could have said drowning in any of those sit-down interviews, they would have been all over it. Just like if they had photos of Nolan cradling Katie, I promise you would have saw it. If they had any evidence that Nolan knew Katie, was with Katie, I promise you they would have used it. Malicious. Rasheem Carter, Nolan Wells, malicious. And Nolan Wells' case, along with Rasheem Carter's, proves a pattern of corruption, of hate crimes against black men. And what we know about Rasheem Carter is that active law enforcement was involved. So the question should be, is active law enforcement involved in any way, shape, or form, including looking the other way, in Nolan Wells' death, the murder of Nolan Wells, and or the cover-up, like Rasheem Carter?
That right there was a lot said. I'm tired, y'all. Gotta go to bed. I see y'all in the morning with part 2 of this. You know what I mean? I'm going to leave it right on the board. And when I get up first thing in the morning, right? Take my shower, brush my teeth, oil my body up, you know. Find some fly shit to put on again. And then come back in the office and we'll get back to part 2 of that right there. What She Said Sports. Give it up. Mañana. It's your boy the Brando knows. Now that you know that your boy the Brando knows.